Oh, we're live!
And we're on!
And we're on! We have no idea what we're doing.
We are our only viewer. Beautiful.
We are only... Hi, everybody. It's me, Dr. Kristin Lyerly, and I'm hanging out with Abe.
Hi, I'm Abraham Lyerly, her oldest son, music teacher, and a former campaign manager.
Yeah.
Way back.
And we are learning how to do Substack Lives, but mostly we wanted to talk about the election results because Abe and I got to spend some time together with his girlfriend Rachel at Chris Taylor's party on Tuesday night. And man, I'm so glad we all got to be there together. What a night. The results came in.
It was fast.
It was
First
super
30
fast.
Minutes. Boom.
Yeah.
We knew right then. I mean, it's... In the past 10 years, it's felt kind of rare to be at those parties.
Where we're winning.
I need to go to more Supreme Court parties. That's really what I'm figuring out.
I know. Hey, Chris Ford, it's good to see you. Yeah, it was crazy when the results came in because the room was maybe half full. People hadn't all gotten there yet, and it started popping up on our phones, and we were like, "Did she win? Did she really win?" So it was still half an hour before.
Yeah, it was a full hour before she got ready to even talk. Like that room didn't even fill in for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting that. We were expecting a 10-point win, not a 20-point blowout.
I think we were all hoping that it was going to be some sort of a big blowout given the atmosphere and the world right now. But it definitely beat my expectations.
But tempered because that Marquette poll came in, I believe it was in November or December, like at the very beginning of the cycle. They came in and said, 8-point lead for Chris Taylor, but nobody knows who she is. And then it came in a month before Election Day and it said 7-point lead and nobody knows who either of these people are. So to have it go 20 points is ridiculous. I mean, we were watching the New York Times prediction as it was coming through and they're saying it's going to be a 10-point victory. And then this is going to be 15 points, but no more. Then it was 17 points. Then it was 18 and it ended at more than 20 points of a swing. So it was not a predictable night. A good feeling.
To your point, though, people didn't know. And I was really surprised by that because obviously the year before was the Elon Musk, Susan Crawford election. And everybody, you couldn't avoid it. It was everywhere. So that was one of the things that made me really, really nervous about it. But,
I feel like as Wisconsinites, we're so used to having the next election day sort of pounded into our heads. You go out to the bar to watch a Brewers game. It's there. They have it on the TV. Every ad for the last 4 years has been, here's the next election. Here's the next election. I mean, how many hundreds of millions of dollars in the last decade has been spent in the state of Wisconsin? I mean, it's got to be a couple $1 billion spent on just political advertising.
For sure. It was $100 million just for the Susan Crawford election last year.
That was the most spent by 60 million. So I think we've grown sort of complacent and we don't have that internal, is there something going on? Should I be looking for an election right now?
Are there elections? Do we do that?
We assume somebody's going to come over and hit us in the head with a baseball bat or something and just it's going to get forced into our lives in some way. And this was, it was less than $10 million spent on this. Not even. It was like $5 million on this election by both candidates, mostly by Chris Taylor.
Yeah, her fundraising was off the charts. In the last quarter, she had 20,000 individual donors, and Lazar had, I think, 1,700. So, based on fundraising, which is such a great barometer for political success, we kind of knew going into it.
We had, and going off the last couple elections, and seeing the statewide the elections going on at localities all around the country, and seeing how far left they were swinging, it didn't feel. It was not a scary day to go into it. We felt good about it going in, but again, we were expecting maybe 10 points, maybe 12 points. A 20-point blowout it's huge, and there's a lot to sort of read in the tea leaves there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of trends possibly, and a lot of things that discount it all and make it so you shouldn't pay attention to the result.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the map of Wisconsin with all of the counties and all of the blue arrows that trended to the left? It was every single county except one, which is Menominee. And the only reason that it's pointed to the right is because it is always the bluest county. So there was a lot of room.
There was nowhere for it to go. Actually, I have the map up right now. Let's see. 2026, Menominee. It voted 18 points more Republican, and that means that they only lost. It was like, and that's still a blowout where 72% of the vote went to Chris Taylor. And it's
Right.
only 600 people who live in that district,
Well,
650 people. So it's not a big deal. If that's your only right leading arrow, if that's the only thing that you have to feel good about from the Republican side, that is I wouldn't even say warning signs. Your ship's already at the bottom of the ocean.
uh-huh. It's too late.
Yeah.
But you know what really heartened me when I look at, I love northeastern Wisconsin. And when I look at northeastern Wisconsin, Dorr is fairly dark blue, which isn't a huge surprise because that's the way we've been seeing them trend. But Brown, Outagamie, and Winnebago, I think this is the new barometer. The wow counties, we kind of know what's happening there. But we've got the bow counties, or the bowed counties if you count Dorr. That is going to be, northeastern Wisconsin is going to be the place to watch over the next few months and certainly through November.
Absolutely. And I will also say, Winnebago County in particular was shocking on election night.
Yeah.
It's not, both Winnebago and Outagamie are not Democratic strongholds and have not been Democratic strongholds.
Excuse me. Outagamie is Joe McCarthy land. The John Birch Society is literally housed in Outagamie County.
It's not a friendly area for Democrats, to say the least. In Outagamie County, Chris Taylor got 58% of the vote.
Yeah.
In Winnebago County, she got 60% of the vote. I mean, that's a 20-point blowout in what in presidential years has gone slightly red. So it's a huge shift, but you have to temper that by also thinking about, and this might be the next conversation point, the amount of people who voted, the voter turnout is down almost 50%.
From last year, from the Crawford election?
From the Crawford election, it's down it's down a huge amount from 2024, but results are down 50% since the last off-year election. And that was an election that had $100 million spent on it, so I don't read too much into that. But seeing all these results come in, it seems there's a narrative that sort of pops out at you that maybe Republicans stayed home a lot for this. And actually, we were talking before we went live about Polk Country, which is northwestern Wisconsin over by Cumberland. In that county,
as if people know where Cumberland is.
Yeah, it's
north of Eau Claire.
It's north of Eau Claire. It's northwestern Wisconsin.
Sorry, Cumberland people. Beautiful country. Love it.
Love it. Let's see. Do I have this pulled up? Yeah, I do. Brad Schimmel in 2025 got 11,000 votes. Susan Crawford got 7,400. In this most recent election, Maria Lazar got 5,300. Chris Taylor got 5,100. It was a significant drop-off for both candidates, with the Democrats losing 2,500 people, but the Republicans lost twice as many voters. So
I feel like you're doing a lot of math right now, and it's kind of hurting my head.
There's a lot of people who didn't show up to this election, and it seems that it's 2-1 Republicans to Democrats.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even like back on the east side of the state, Manitowoc County was within a percentage point. It was red, but it was within a percentage point. I would have never expected that. So it's really exciting to see that people are turning out. I hope we can sustain this. That's going to be the trick. Not getting overconfident and thinking. Even when I came home and I said to Julian, your brother, who votes, and wasn't feeling all that well, but I made him go to the polls because he doesn't vote by mail. Yeah, I encourage them to vote by mail because it makes it so easy, but he doesn't. He likes to vote on the day of. So when he was feeling sick, he had to go to the polls and vote. He came back home and he was like, well, it didn't matter. She won by 20 percentage points. Why did I even vote? No, you still have to vote. You especially have to vote in November and August.
And you don't win by 20 percentage points unless that happens. And the narrative is I don't want to say as strong as the actual results, because the results are so much more important, but the narrative is important too. Seeing that wave come through is scary, and it makes people really decide about where they spend their money for the next year. So if you show a competitive race in a spring election, it shows that there's energy here, there's enthusiasm. If you're building and building and building, it shows that you should have money spent here by outside groups. Like we have the potential to run stronger and stronger campaigns. So like every vote does count, not only in the actual results of the single election, but also in who's paying attention to your place 5 elections from now.
Right. Which is why I want to focus. Which is why.
Sorry, go ahead.
I
was going to say, it changes who's willing to invest on your side. Is your side willing to invest at all?
Which is why I want to focus on Northeast Wisconsin. So let's zoom in there, because here I am in Green Bay, where you grew up, and some remarkable things happened. First of all, where you grew up mostly, we held on to the Common Council and actually increased our presence. So now there's a majority on a sustainable majority on the Common Council. But the Board of Supervisors in Brown County, which is where Green Bay is. Now, Green Bay is not the most liberal city, but there's a little node here. But there's a lot of Brown County that is not. So much of Brown County, there was a Republican supermajority. And by gaining 4 seats, we broke that Republican supermajority. So that is huge for Brown County. And one of my very favorite things about this is that we elected a supervisor who happens to be a trans woman, but was elected because she's brilliant. She's a Green Bay city attorney. She has a vision for the future of the region. And she did the work. She did the door knocking. She made the contacts. She built that sense of community. She literally beat the culture war in her own backyard.
And if I had to describe Green Bay, it is culture war to the right. Like that, it seems to be a place that's economically motivated to the left and culture war motivated to the right, and that's been carrying it. So it's incredible. And Rachel Mays has been doing an awesome job just being present in the community, and she's been knocking doors since 2023, 2024. She's
Before that.
2020. Like
Before
she's
that.
been out there. She's been present. She's been working her butt off the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see good things happen to people who have put in the work to get there,
Yeah.
and have had the conversations necessary to get to that point.
Yeah.
But no, incredibly heartening results. Incredibly hard. It feels good in Northeast Wisconsin. When's the last time it felt good in Northeast Wisconsin?
Well, there are
2025.
moments.
Oh, we have it so bad.
No, but in our neighborhoods,
Mhm.
we know our neighbors, and even our neighbors who have different views than us. You like your neighbors, you hang out with your neighbors, you have fun with them, but you have political differences sometimes. It's when we pull together and we work for the common good and we do things for the right reason and we brush aside the stuff that divides us, the stuff that's coming down from the top, the stuff that Donald Trump and his regime and all of the ugliness on social media. We just can't let that control us the way that we have. And just that result to me was such a beautiful sign of hope. So we're going to have Rachel on the show. Actually, she's agreed to do it. So we just have to pick a time within the next week or 2.
Sweet.
I know. Let's talk about one more race.
Yeah, of course.
Waukesha Mayor.
Alicia,
say her last name. Halvin Slavin. I know it's hard.
You've got me beat.
Alicia H.
Who
Alicia Halvin Slavin, former alder. Well, it's still an alder, but now mayor-elect in Waukesha. I called this a canary in a coal mine. Alicia and I had a conversation, a month and a half ago, maybe.
It was the last recorded episode of our show. Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about what this meant and why she was doing this, all the candidate stuff. But there was just something really different about this seat in the heart of Waukesha County, of the WOW counties, and her ability to win this against a very mega Christian nationalist, ugly sitting state assemblyman. Mm-hmm. This too is, I think, a really important moment for us to just stop and reflect on what has happened here.
I think it really is. And I think that Waukesha has been this sort of, it's been, obviously the Republican stronghold in the state for the past decade, but it's been eroding steadily. Mm-hmm. And it feels like another brick in the wall, another thing has fallen, another thing is broken. And I keep saying things aren't heartening. Things are good. It feels really good to see what Waukesha is becoming and the sort of culture change that's been there. I don't know. I just feel good about this one. In a list of good things.
Yes. I love the new affinity that you have to Milwaukee as somebody who grew up in Madison much of your life and then Green Bay.
Madison, then Green Bay, and Milwaukee was not a place that I was ever like, oh yeah, I need to be there. Ended up moving here for work, and I love it here. This place rocks.
Yeah, I love that you love it. And I love that we can continue to do this because there is going to be so much happening in the months to come. So we are going to cover all of the political stuff. We just did an interview earlier today with Emily Bergelis. I can't say her last name. Emily Bergie.
It's like Fergie, but Bergie.
Yes, Bergie. Emily Bergie. That's her name. Don't worry it out. She's Congress in Western Wisconsin. Did you see the maps in Western Wisconsin? Oh my gosh. It's like we've got the old progressive Western Wisconsin back.
So that's the seat that's been held by Derek Van Orden for the longest time in the 3rd. If you look at the 2024 presidential election of that map, it is red, ruby red the entire way through. If you look at this most recent Supreme Court race, the best corn. Yeah. Really, it's actually too stupid to even joke about. It's blue. I mean, including many of the like Republican stronghold rural counties have turned a light shade of blue. Now, once again, this is because Republicans stayed home, almost certainly.
Fine,
but it shows that people aren't excited. It shows that Republicans aren't able to turn their voters out, and it shows that the trend of Trump not being on the ballot being a death sentence for Republicans is still there, and he's never on the ballot again.
Ever.
So at
That's
some
the plan.
point, they have to figure out a new strategy. We shouldn't help them at all with that. But they have to figure out something else they can do to turn their voters out, because this guy isn't working anymore.
Yeah. Well, and remember too, when I look at that area, there are a lot of people who don't vote according to Democrat or Republican. They vote for the people. And what I love about what Emily Berge is doing there, Bergalicious, is door knocking. She's from Eau Claire. She's a former, I think she has 2 days left in her tenure as the kind of like the mayor of Eau Claire. They don't have a mayor, so it's a supervisor position. But they have done really wonderful things. It's all community building. It's all about listening to people and figuring out what they want and what they need in their lives. And it's so grassroots, and it's so different than how the people of Western and Central Wisconsin have been treated during Derek Van Orden's tenure, which is just ugliness. And I mean,
diatribes on Twitter and
yeah, it's time. Yeah. All right. I think it's time for us to be done. Time to sober up.
Sorry.
All right, Abe. Thanks for doing this experiment with me.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll do more. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
District 3 Derek Van Orden joke, by the way. To be clear, let's not get that one clipped out of context.
Yeah, Abe as a middle school teacher, he has a middle school sense of humor. Right
Sometimes,
now. All right, everybody.
Feeling elated.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.